Alright, today folks, we are talking about another YouTube channel. This one's called Suitcase Monkey. The creator, Paul, has made a travel channel that he's filmed on his iPhone, which is a great example. You don't need the best camera in the world to build a channel or a business. It's in your pocket. It's the thing you always carry anyway. You don't believe me? Well, here's Paul to tell you all about it.
Suitcase Monkey, if you've ever watched any travel vlogs and kind of been a bit tired maybe with what you've seen normally, I think it's done with a degree of professionalism. Unofficially, I've always thought in the back of my head that my motto for the channel was going to be more travel, less bullshit. The country is the king of the story, basically. I'm just there because I happen to be in the background filming it.
After a busy time in Rome, Japan and Marrakesh, we thought we would round off the year taking in the scenic roads of Tuscany.
So I started watching travel vlogs because I like travel, and I wouldn't enjoy most of them. And I kind of wanted to do a travel channel that, I don't know, felt a little bit more like a documentary that added a little bit of information about the places and wasn't basically just 10 minutes of me doing a selfie going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in Rome.
We're just going for a bit of a walk around Ubud now. This is the main sort of road here.
5 years ago, I went to Bali and just filmed that, and I just started to get into using Final Cut, and I didn't have any content to edit, so I thought, well, if I just film my holiday, then at least just so I have some footage basically so I can edit that. So that's how it started, and I put that on YouTube like 5 years ago, and nothing happened for about 2 years. And I wasn't starting a YouTube channel, I just put it on YouTube. And then after like 2 years of that being on YouTube, suddenly it just started to get noticed. And then even a year after that, I was like, oh, this is starting to kind of get seen a little bit. So I then started to think about it a little bit more seriously and started to do more frequent videos. I remember getting an email from YouTube saying, oh, hey, you can now monetize your video. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Probably only up until about 2 years ago did I start to take it a bit more seriously. But even then, as I say, I upload when I can. So I'm not, if I have nothing to say or nothing to film, I just don't put up a video, basically.
Japan. It's massive with way too much to handle in one trip. That's why, with the help of my wife Chiaki, who's from Japan, which kinda helps, we will be deeply exploring the middle of Honshu, Japan's main island. I'm taking this look back to London.
So I 100% shoot everything on iPhone. In some ways I'm a complete amateur, I suppose I know how to maybe frame stuff in a shot, but I shoot everything on auto basically. I'm trying not to get into, even on, on the iPhone, you've got things like ProCam and stuff where you can go in there and you can properly control everything in the camera. I'm just using the native camera app, which is literally just start and stop, and maybe you can kind of control the focus and exposure a little bit. But again, I'm not really setting up any shots, I'm just pointing and shooting. A couple of months ago, I had someone who messaged me saying, oh, what gimbal are you using? And I just said, well, it's my arm. I've sort of developed this, if I can demo this here, but I have this kind of, this sort of approach which seems to work, and I kind of use my elbow as a gimbal basically.
You disembark at the Imperial Fort, which was built by Napoleon and guarded by stormtroopers.
My color grading, Command A to select all, up the saturation 10%. That's my color grading done. So I try and keep it as simple as possible. I've thought sometimes about, if I do get all this extra equipment and stuff, will that kind of make the videos look better, and will that kind of increase the production quality of the channel? I guess there's lots of different niches on YouTube, but for me, I kind of think no, because for me, I think the most important aspect for me is story. If I watch all these super slick videos, especially travel videos where they can be bam, 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 and all these funky transitions and everything, if I see that, it doesn't make me subscribe, because I feel like there's a million different videos on YouTube that will offer me that. I think it's important with YouTube to know what your value is. Are you informing? Are you entertaining? Some of the channels, the vlogging channels that I do follow, there's kind of a uniqueness to them, or there's something that I feel I'm getting value from, and so I'll subscribe to that. So no one's ever said, oh, I don't like the quality of the footage or anything like that. It's more oh, I enjoy the story, I enjoyed the pace, I enjoyed the information, I enjoyed this joke, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the value, and that's why people would subscribe. So I don't kind of think that any extra quality equipment would necessarily change that. So I have a very kind of basic setup. I literally have a desk and I have a laptop, and even though it's a laptop, to be honest, I almost never take it out of the house, but I don't know, I just have a laptop and not a desktop. Because I went to drama school, you know, you kind of learn how to tell a story. I think for me, pace is like the first thing to keep an eye on. And I think as well, music is a massive part, especially in travel vlogging stuff. I've learned to trust my instincts, I think. For a while I was trying to, you know, you see things and you want to kind of mimic them or kind of pay homage to them, but I've kind of just tried to just go with whatever my own style is. And as I say, I don't watch that many different travel vlogging channels, but those I do. Some of them have some similarities to what I do, and maybe that's why I kind of enjoy watching them. Casey Neistat is so far from my style, but I almost don't want to do that just because, you know, he's doing that incredibly well, and obviously a lot of other people are trying to do it as well. So I'm just trying to stay true to what I do, and then hopefully that kind of gives the channel a little bit of a individual feel. This isn't my full-time job. So I work 4 days a week. I used to work 5 days a week, but I was able to drop a day, which kind of then gave me an extra day to do YouTube stuff. Because like if you've got a full-on, you know, 9 to 5 job, and then you've got the weekends, you don't necessarily want to be slogging over a laptop over that weekend. So that one extra day is really useful in terms of kind of having extra space to sort of clear the mind, but then kind of get working on editing. It's difficult to kind of juggling those two things because I haven't gone down the daily vlog route or even the weekly or bi-weekly. As I say, it's kind of whenever I have something to make a movie of. So it probably averages out maybe every 6-7 weeks or something that I'll put a video out there. And that's partly because most of my time I'm doing the day job. You know, I guess the reason why it takes all that time is because I'm not trying to rush something out and trying to just get something out because I want to put content out for the sake of content. Like, I'll quite happily take a month off after a video and then just get back into it when I kind of want to get back into it, which I guess is one of the luxuries when it's not your actual job or business. I know at the moment I'm still kind of quite happy that it's sitting within the hobby category, so if I don't want to do it, I just don't do it.
Doing nothing and taking it all in is what you are doing. For example, this view became our morning routine.
I haven't gone for any of the sponsored stuff. I've had a few things that have kind of come to me in terms of doing stuff, you know, like either paid holidays or we'll send you this product if you kind of mention it. But because my channel isn't just sort of me sat in a room like this, you know, saying, hey, this is the great little travel thing I've been sent and let's review it. That's not kind of what I do. Because it's like little mini movies of the holiday, at the moment at least, that's kind of what I want to stick to. So it's harder to kind of crowbar in, oh, and I used this pocket Wi-Fi while I was traveling here and it was really great. Maybe one day I'll sell out and I'll start doing that. But until that happens, I'm just trying to stick with the authentic, this is a movie about my holiday. When I had this option of potentially an all expenses paid trip, even though that's totally in connection with what the channel's about, and I think if ever I do start doing that stuff, I think as long as it's true to what the channel's about, and if that company is letting you go somewhere to film something, and therefore you're getting a video out of that, then hopefully the viewers kind of understand that that's relevant and you're not just kind of selling out to just get a free watch or something, for example, which doesn't really relate to anything. I had a guy the other week who said that he'd unsubscribed from me just because I stuck an advert in the middle of a 12-minute movie, which is like, well, you know, what? That's kind of the deal with how this works. You know, if I'm going to spend all this time making a video, then if you're going to begrudge me sticking a 5-second advert in the middle, then, you know, this isn't going to work really.
If you're thinking of taking a short, relaxing but eventful break, then Dubrovnik, Croatia might just be the ticket.
I've not really looked at going to other platforms beyond YouTube because I'm not seeing this as a business enterprise thing. So I'm kind of quite happy with what YouTube is and what it gives me and what it allows me to do. So at the moment, I'm kind of not looking anywhere else. Advice I'd give to new YouTubers is, I think first of all, especially when you're starting, only do it because you enjoy doing it. And as I kind of still put myself in that category, I'm doing it just because I enjoy doing it and I'll take a break from it when I want to take a break from it. I think if you're starting and you're trying to do either daily or weekly stuff, I mean, that's one of the things I guess that I don't do, which maybe I should do. Like, it's good to have a schedule. So I think weekly is probably a good place to start, just get some momentum, even though I didn't kind of do that. But it can obviously then start to feel a lot more like a grind, and you know, you're more likely to burn out, and especially if it doesn't kind of take off, which chances are, unless you're kind of really lucky or hit on something that sort of really gets people's imagination, chances are it's going to be a long slog. That was the convenient thing with me, is I just put a video out and then 2 years later it started to get some traction. So I started to then put more time and energy into it, having some traffic already coming to the channel. Do it because you enjoy doing it, as opposed to thinking you're going to be the next Casey Neistat, I think would be the first thing I would say. Casey Neistat said this in his 10 million subscribers video, which when I heard it, I was like, that's 100% true.
Getting to 10 million was absolutely not as hard as getting to 1 million.
That first 100 subscribers is probably the most difficult thing to do, and then 500 and 1,000. I think once you go past 1,000, I probably had a steady trickle of like 2 subscribers a day, maybe on average between like 1,000 and 5,000 subscribers. But once I kind of got beyond 5,000, people are more likely, because they see that there's already a lot of people there, they're a lot more likely to just click subscribe, just because, hey, that's what everyone else has sort of done.
A little bit of patience and a lot of hard work.
Don't be disheartened at the start, and just kind of stick with it. And again, if you enjoy it, it shouldn't really matter if only 50 people are watching the video. I think there's different ways of doing this. Some people will start it out as a business, and therefore they'll look, you know, what videos is doing really well, and therefore I'll make videos like this because this is what's doing really well. Whereas I've just always kind of gone, well, what do I enjoy? What would I want to see if I was watching YouTube? And I've just kind of tried to make content that I would enjoy.
And that, my friends, is how it's done. I think I'm gonna have to whip my phone out and do a little bit more filming and photography on my phone. I am guilty. I have the toys, so I use the bigger toys. But I think I need to switch up my ways. I'm gonna use the old iPhone a little bit more. Thanks, Paul. Taco Burrito, folks, it's a wrap. Get your phone out and use it for 2 reasons: picking up the phone, calling your friends and your family, and taking some photos and videos of your friends and family. See ya. Bye.